Hey everybody, this is Jim, Midnight Road Garage. Today we're comparing two multi-tools. First we've got the $69 Leatherman Free T4, and it's going to go up against the $41 Gerber Armbar Drive multi-tool. On paper these both look like they'd be great presents for that tool over in your life. But let's find out. So first let me say we are not comparing tools that look like this. Yes, this is a Leatherman, yes this is a Gerber, but that's not what we're looking at. What we're looking at are these. It looks more like a miniature Swiss Army knife. The main thing we're trying to accomplish here is which one of these makes a better gift. Now, from someone who does a terrible job at wrapping presents, this is the one I would take because I wouldn't begin to know how to wrap this one. Oh, yeah, I would. Throw it in a gift bag. Let's try and get them open. I guess we'll start with the Gerber. I'm going to go ahead and use the knife on my Gerber multi-tool. This Gerber multi-tool is made in USA. This Gerber multi-tool is made in China. Try not to cut yourself. Alright. We've got a tiny set of directions. And the tool itself. Not a fan of the packaging. Here's our Leatherman packaging. It would be much easier to wrap this, in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and use my USA-made Leatherman to open my USA-made multi-tool. Now we've cut the tape. Pull this out. We have our direction card. And then we have our tool. Very nice. Packaging-wise, this is a clear winner. I can put this back in here and put it back. And I can store this on a shelf if I want to, especially if you collect knives like I do. Let's take a look at the directions that come with each multi-tool. The directions for the Leatherman basically just tell you how to open up the blade and how to unlock the blade once you have it open, and how to push open the other tools. What's very noticeably missing, and maybe it's just a card that's missing from mine, although mine was brand new, unopened, there's no description of all of the different tools that come with it, so I guess I just have to kind of figure that out on my own. We take a look at the Gerber, the piece of paper that came with it is just a warning label not to cut yourself. But it does have on the back a description of what each tool is. Now what it doesn't have is it doesn't tell you how to unlock the blade and close it once you've opened it. I'll show you how that's done though. So directions wise, seems kind of a wash. I think the Gerber does a better job, but not telling you how to unlock the blade's kind of silly. But I guess it just assumes most people know how to do that. Let's compare their overall physical size. The Leatherman is slightly larger than the Gerber. You can see now this also has a nice belt clip on it. But width-wise, slightly wider, slightly taller, and slightly thicker this way. The Leatherman is slightly larger overall in all aspects. So to open the Leatherman, just insert your nail there and open her up just like that. Now this does lock it in place, and to unlock it, what you do is pull this lever down just a little bit. See if you can see that. Pull that lever down, and then you can go ahead and close the blade just like that. The Gerber, on the other hand, opens the same way, but it has a completely different locking mechanism. It has a piece of spring steel right here that springs out, and you have to push that in and then close the blade. So be careful not to cut your finger when you close that. I like the locking mechanism of the Leatherman better than the Gerber. However, the Gerber does have a longer blade. Now, I'm not going to test to see which one is sharper because, quite frankly, you should sharpen your knives when you get them anyways. So it doesn't really matter. You're going to sharpen them, and then they would both be about the same sharpness. Now, for one-handed closing, you could push that in and then kind of get it to close. It's a little dangerous. This one, let's see, same way. Yeah, yeah. Well, you should use two hands. Let's compare some of the tools that come with them. Now they both have scissors. You can see here that the Leatherman blades are a little bit shorter than the Gerber blades. I like the action a lot better on the Leatherman. The action on the Gerber, it's a little stiff, not quite as springy. Here is the Gerber cutting some cardboard, or not cutting some cardboard. Yeah, no, it's not cutting this cardboard at all. Let's see. You can see that's as good as it got. Let's see what the Leatherman can do. The Leatherman can actually cut through that. Yep. Try the Gerber again just for fun. Nope. No, not really. And I think what we have here actually is a leverage problem. This is much greater leverage right here. This is about where we start cutting on the Leatherman. On the Gerber, we are way out. We're not really trying to cut until we're here, and by this time, really all of your leverage is gone. Let's try something not quite so difficult. Yeah, no problem. Both of them slice right through the paper. The scissors are better on the Leatherman, although they're probably about the same sharpness, but the leverage is so much better on these that you can actually cut with them. It should be pointed out that even the scissors on the Leatherman are locked in place with the lock. The Gerber, not the case, and that's how these work. It just folds back. Next up is what the Gerber describes as an awl, or what I would describe as a belt hole maker. You would use this to go through the belt, spin it like so, and make a new hole. So if you have eaten too much at the dinner table, you might want to use this. Or if you've gone on a successful diet and actually lost weight, you might also need to use this. Now, I've never had that happen to me, but if I did, I could use one of these to do that. I would say the Leatherman has an edge here. It is longer, sturdier than the Gerber. I like the tip better on the Gerber, but this is sharpened as well, and the edge is sharpened on both of them. So neither of these should have any issues making a hole in your belt. And once again, the Leatherman is locked in place with the lock, and this you just fold down. No lock whatsoever. This maybe is supposed to be some sort of, just kind of a lock, but realistically it doesn't do anything. It should be obvious what's up next. Our bottle opener. This is a nice purpose-built bottle opener on the Gerber. And yeah, that opens real easy. Okay, on the Leatherman, it's actually part of the Phillips screwdriver. So, opens nice and easy. Alright. Alright, let me drink these and I'll be right back. So with these, I like the purpose-built, but it didn't work any better than this one. So, it's a draw. They'll both open your bottle beer just fine. Moving on to flat blade screwdrivers, the Leatherman has an advantage because it has two flat blade screwdrivers. It has this one, which is thin, and then it has this one, which is much thicker. I think you could probably use this one to actually get a license plate screw off a car. So I'll probably give it to this. This one is, as you can see, pretty thin screwdriver, pretty thin flat blade on here, and it is part of the Phillips, which we will get to in a minute. You just flip it around to get to the flat blade. So probably a nod to the Leatherman just because it has two screwdrivers, one flat blade, which is very nice and probably more useful than any of the rest of them. That brings us to our Phillips bits. This is a standard number 2 Phillips, and definitely better than this Phillips over here. This Phillips looks like they tried to combine a number 1 bit with a number 2 bit, and I am sure they have come up with something that actually doesn't work as well as a number 2, which is what most people need for everyday use anyway. So as far as the Phillips go, I'm going to give that to the Gerber. That was all the items that they have in common. Let's talk about a couple items that they don't have in common. Leatherman also has a file that is combined with this flat blade screwdriver. So the Gerber does not have a file, so if you anticipate needing a file, this would be the one for you. Now, the Leatherman also has They're tweezers. And they are just kind of stuffed in a little pocket right there. Very cool. And as mentioned earlier, this does have a belt clip that the Gerber does not have. The Gerber lists this surface right here. It lists this surface right here as a hammer. So if you wanted to beat on something, you could use this surface right here. The Leatherman does not have any surfaces like that at all. Should be noted that the Gerber has a magnetic nut driver, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. Both of these are fine tools. I'm happy to own both of them. So you can't go wrong with either. With that said, this one does cost about $28 more than this one. So $41 and $69. That's on Amazon. There's links in the description. So you can go check them out and see. I mean, prices may change. It's Amazon. So here's my thoughts on the Leatherman. This is a really nice tool. What I really love about it is that it's made in the USA. That is number one. American workers got paid to make this. That's important to me because I live in the USA. Now, if you live in China or if you live in maybe Pakistan or someplace else where they make tools, you would probably like it if the tool that you were buying was made in the country you lived in, because then you have local people getting paid. So if you were in China, then you would probably like this one better because this one's made in China. So, you know, your country's getting paid. But I live in the U.S., so I really like that about this tool. I'm made in Portland, so pretty cool. You know, the design I like. It's a very safe tool. Everything locks on it, with the exception of the tweezers, of course. But everything else locks, so you don't have a issue of it folding and cutting yourself or puncturing yourself somehow, which is nice. If safety is a priority, you don't want to buy a gift for someone and then have them cut their finger off with it, get this one. This is the one to get. It's a very good tool. I really like the box that it came in. I can keep it in the box if I want, and I could display it in that box. It's very nice. Overall, really pleased with this tool. But what about the Gerber? This is made by a company that's American-based in of all places, the same place the Leatherman company is, in Portland, Oregon. So that's kind of interesting. I guess Multitools come from there. For $41, this is a great tool. Absolutely a great tool. I wish it were made here. It does say that it was designed in the U.S., and that's great. And it's an American company, so that's great. Just looking at the tool itself, the quality of the metal is better than your typical tool that you would buy from China. This is a much nicer quality tool. So Gerber definitely has some hands in the standards that they are using to make this. The tolerances on this are very nice. It doesn't feel loose at all. It doesn't feel cheap. It's a very nice Chinese-made tool. So I definitely cannot knock it for that. So as much as I like the Leatherman, this is going to surprise some of you. As much as I like the Leatherman, for me, this is a more useful tool. And you might notice that I have this particular bit open. So Leatherman, take note of this. This is a much more useful tool than your tool, because although this only comes with this Phillips and flat blade, here's what I'm going to do with this tool. I'm going to throw it in my box over here. And now look at all of these other tools that I now have. So this goes from it's got 8 tools to now having 20-something tools, simply because I can take any one of these bits and plug it in to this bit driver right here, and the combinations are endless of what I can do with this tool because it has a standard bit driver on it. This is a standard size. That makes this tool infinitely more useful than this tool. It just does. This is the tool that I'll probably be using more often. Is it a better tool than the Leatherman? Yep, just because of this. You can argue with me if you like. I think this is going to end up being more useful in the end. Mostly what I use with this type of bit is a Milwaukee Impact, so, will I use it this much? Probably not. But if my battery goes dead, you bet I will. But that's the practical side of me talking. The impractical side of me, I want the Leatherman because, this is, I like the blue better too. That's really nice on this one. And they have a couple different colors of this. Now this one's got blue on it too, but it's not as nice as this. And I think they have like 3 or 4 different colors on this one. Anyway, hey look, that's my take on these. Your take might be different. I encourage you, buy them both, check them both out. If you're a tool person, you'll like both of them. So comment below if you got one. Let me know what you think. Anyways, I hope you guys like my comparison. And if you did, then be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys down the road.